Apologies about that, everyone. We are back live, and there's been quite a lot of action seen. Faith is already out the race, and we are back for part 2. I do apologise, you have missed about 3 or 4 laps. I did have an error come up on my screen regarding spectating in the session, so I don't know what happened there. But anyways, we're back, and Siege leads the way from Alan Kay in second. These softs are not really going that far. We've already seen Ollie come into the pits, and he's right on the back of George. In fact, and he's got round the outside of George through turn 4 there, so Ollie is up to 4th. He's on the back of Casper, 8/10ths off at this stage. Both of them have been into the pits. Casper opting to go 2-stop, it seems, on the mediums, and I think Ollie will probably opt to go for a set of hards and then for a set of softs. This is the closest battle out on track. It's for net second, could be even for the net lead here as well. If these two begin to gain on Siege ahead, who is still yet to come into the pits. There is Siege, just coming through the final couple of corners, opts to go out for another lap. But, as you see, the bollard getting kicked up there. Casper right on the back of Alan Kay. Is Alan Kay going to put up a fight here? Casper just sits in behind. Ollie doesn't want to over-race himself into the back either. And a three-way battle for second suddenly develops. But Siege leading the way. Alan Kay holding up Casper, and that is Casper on the outside of turn 14. Great move. Ollie just gets forced off as well, but Alan Kay opting to come into the pits, it seems. Alan Kay opting to come in the pits a little bit down, I think, there, to be honest, between Ollie and Alan Kay. Ollie has been held up by 2 seconds. Of course, that might have affected his race come the end, but the hard tyres, remember, are going to come in. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. S. Graham, I think it might have been, coming in to the pits. I'm not sure what the yellow flag was for, but Siege leads the way, and he's already through the end of the middle sector here. Siege leads 25.7 is the gap to Casper in behind. 1.7 seconds separating Casper and Ollie at this stage. You see Siege coming through very nicely. Fit leaves the session. Can cause a safety car, of course, that. Maximus and Alan Kay, though, getting going. 9th and 10th for the plum pudding points at the back as Maximus opts to go around the outside of Alan Kay around turn 3 and now turn 4. Brilliant move. Maximus parks it on the inside of turn 4. Signed, sealed and delivered. Great move. Maximus up to 9th. Goes ahead of Alan Kay, and Maximus was behind him, I think. So Maximus has got the jump on him. Siege is into the pits from the lead. Siege is into the pits from the lead. Let's see, tyres I see there. It is. That is a set of hard compound of tyres for Siege. Let's see where they're going to be in relation to Casper and Ollie, and it looks like, in fact, Siege is going to be miles out in front here. Siege is coming out the pits now. Casper is only at the exit of the final corner. Siege, I think, is going to have about a 4-second advantage, I would say, coming out the pits. And Siege at the pits. Yeah, 3.3 seconds in the end. Just dropping under, so about a 3-second gap, 2-second gap there between him and Thingy. Navy has got the inside of George. Navy is up to 4th. He is making up tremendous progress from the field. Of course, he pitted early on after lap 1 contact with Mays, and he is now up to 4th, passing George, who is down in 5th and just struggling on those mediums, it seems, as well. He's a lap older tyres compared to Navy. He's really struggling, and 1.3 seconds already off. But out in front, Siege has got the gap, 2.8 seconds. We're on lap 9 out of 29. Casper in 2nd, Ollie in 3rd at this stage. Navy in 4th and George in 5th. That is your top 5. Crazy Legs, Penny, Jeffrey, Blaster, Maximus and Alan Kay. Your top 10, S. Graham and Mays, who has been into the pits again, opting to go, I think, 1 stop to the end, possibly. Casper, that was him in the background, just cutting the inside of turn 10-11, and S. Graham is out through sector 1, so S. Graham is the second casualty here in TTL F2. Of course, this is the season opener in the season 4 opener here tonight in Albert Park. And Siege leads the way, 3.3 seconds. Those hard tyres are really working to his advantage here. Casper losing time. Ollie beginning to gain time as well, possibly in behind on Casper. That gap has just reduced slightly to 1.7 seconds. As they come across the line, start lap 10 out of 29. Siege out in front, Casper in 2nd, Ollie in 3rd. George has decided to opt to come into the pits. Let's see where he's going to be at in relation. Possibly around Maximus Alan Kay, I would imagine, from this stage. And in fact, Alan Kay must have had some sort of a spin, because he has lost a lot of time on Maximus. But George now is coming out the pits, and he's going to be out behind Maximus, so just behind Maximus. It's about a 4-second gap there. There is Alan Kay running down. Is he an AI by any chance, Alan Kay? Trying to give me an invite? I'm already in. If you're wondering, there's a yellow flag in Sector 2 and it's Ollie. Ollie has lost it. That is through turn 6. That is through turn, through turn 6 there. Through 7 and 8, and he's got front wing damage, and that could be the spell of the end of his race, possibly for Ollie. My prediction for the win has gone up in absolute smoke, and Ollie now down in 5th place. He's got damage, not sure what happened there. I didn't catch on board with his spin, and he's got has he got a puncture actually? Has he got a puncture? Just seems to me as if is he going to rejoin safely? Yep, he retires in fact from the session, and that is parked very dangerously out on track in fact. Let's just have a look at where the position on that car is. That is parked quite dangerously out on track, to be honest. The car has decided to get going. George doesn't take any risk. Alan Kay not taking any risk either. Ollie leaves the session. Not great at all. And Ollie out the race. After what seems like a terrible, terrible spin has occurred on the curb. We'll see him bob with Casper where he spun. In fact, we'll see him bob with Siege where he spun. He must have spun here. He must have spun here. What is Alan doing? And what is Casper doing, says Ollie. Some voiceful opinions there towards his fellow drivers out on track. Hopefully nothing untoward. Sending any footage, of course, into the stewards, whoever they may be. But Siege out in front, 4.8 seconds. Pretty much, I think, handed possibly this win at this stage. Casper in 2nd. See Siege coming through the chicane now, turn 10 and 11. Looking nice. Now through the kink at turn 12. Coming down towards the end of the straight. Reaching in excess of 185 mile an hour there. Can get up to speeds under the DRS of around 195. So Siege getting up nicely. Beautiful helicopter shot here coming through. Oh, and a safety car! There is a safety car out on track. So that is what happens, it seems, when... That is what happens when things happen like that. So Siege not opting to come into the pits. Mays goes past the safety car you saw there. Navy picks up a 5-second penalty. I think he got a 3-second time penalty as well for multiple warnings just a few minutes ago. So all stacking up. Everyone into the pits. Casper, Navy into the pits. Casper's out before Navy, of course. Crazy Legs is also into the pits. He's going to get a free pit stop out of this and could come out ahead of Maximus. He engages drive into the car coming out of his pit box. There is Maximus coming out the final corner. Lars is in as well. Crazy Legs is just going to be behind Maximus, I think. Maximus should be on the left-hand side of your screen anytime soon. It's going to be very tight, in fact. And he's going to be out behind. So, yeah, Crazy Legs out behind Maximus. These guys racing. Of course, there's no Delta, I don't think, for any of these guys. So, they are going to be racing towards the safety car here. No, I think Delta now is starting to kick in on those. But Siege out in front, he's beyond the safety car. Down in front. Jeffrey now 2nd, Casper in 3rd. Jeffrey will opt to go, I think, another couple of laps before coming in to the pits, possibly for a set of hards to the end. Casper in 3rd, as I say. Navy in 4th, Maximus in 5th. So, those pit changes, those pit stops that have just been made, it's just thrown out the race a little bit, to be honest. Crazy Legs and George have got, I think, a better chance now of possibly getting higher up the grade compared to what they were about a lap or so ago when the safety car was not called. So Ollie, pretty much, you could say, has saved this race, but I don't think saving this race is the best way to describe that, to be honest. I hate it when the safety car comes out, especially when somebody leaves the session. Clearly they need to fix that glitch there. But in the meantime, let's have a look on board. Ivan saying I spun, so that must have been Fate. Fate saying he spun. I think that might be Fate anyways. I don't know. It could be one of the two anyways. It's definitely not Ollie, because I know who Ollie is. But there we go. But racing about to begin very soon. Lap 13 out of 29, nearly through halfway here in Australia. Albert Park, it's a purpose-built track, of course. First race held here in 1996. And Siege 5 tenths ahead of Henny, of Jeffrey. Casper in third. Of course, they're all under the safety car, so they're all going to be in and around the same time. So just sit back, grab a cup of tea. Should be getting started, I think, in a lap's time. I'd imagine the safety car would come in this lap, so I'd be quick if you're going to make a cup of tea or make some toast or whatever. Of course, it is now getting towards nightfall here in the beautiful, good old U of the Cade. Connection just suddenly stopping. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. But safety car is out. We'll watch the safety car lights go out any time soon, I would imagine. It should be around here where the safety car should pop up on the bottom of the safety car in this lap. After the chicane, it should pop. It normally pops up after the chicane. So we'll see. Alan Kay is not on the back now. There's Mays at this stage. Them two, I think, are going to be coming, and safety car is going to be coming in this lap. We'll find out very shortly, I think. Siege should back up the pack if it is going to be coming in this lap. And no safety car lights out just yet. And I think it's going to be honestly waiting for Alan Kay and Mays to join on the back. Going to wait until everyone joins on the back. So we've got another lap of the safety car. And Siege will lead behind the safety car. Anyone going to opt to come into the pits in behind? Nope, everyone's staying out. Alan Kay and Mays obviously will stay out. Trying to do their best to catch up here. But safety car at least out for another lap. Lap 14 out of 29. Race brought to a standstill after the safety car brought out after Ollie's wild crash. Don't know what happened with him, to be honest. But Siege currently in the lead of this race. Jeffrey in second, Casper in third. I think looking at how it's going to pan out, it could be Siege, Casper, Navy, I think the top three come the end of this race at this stage. But Siege is in pole position. He's in the prime spot to take this tonight. He's on the hard tyres as well, which is going to help with him towards the end. And of course, safety car period is going to be helping. Crazy Legs just giving a little bit of gap to Maximus there, just holding up the rest a little bit. Mace is about to join on to the back, it seems. He is nearly there. Mace should be joining on. Everyone that's still continuing, of course, if they're DNF, I don't think they pick up points. So everyone that does finish in the end will decide to get the points. So at this stage, we should be seeing 25-1, the top 10. Unfortunate for Ollie, unfortunate for S. Graham, and unfortunate for Fate being out of this race. And it definitely seems like Siege is backing off, and the safety car is coming in this lap. Safety car now, it will be coming in this lap, and backing up the pack will be key, and Siege slows it down. Slows it down. Just speeds up a little bit down the straight. He's just trying to toy with them. When is he going to say go? I think exit of turn 14 is where he's going to say go, to be honest. That's be the perfect opportunity. Safety car running off into the distance. Jeffrey there in second, Casper in third. Could get very close into the safety car. Is Siege going to floor it now, or is he going to floor it where I expect him to at turn 14? We'll go on board very soon. And he floors it. There we go. So Siege floors it. Safety car is only around the final couple of corners. And Siege now coming into the final two corners. Turn 14 and 15. Yellow flag still out. Safety car, we're back underway here in Australia, and Siege will lead them off. Siege leads them off. Jeffrey in second, Casper in third. We're back underway. Navy's right on the back of Casper. Down into turn one, nearly cutting off a bit of his front wing. Navy is all over the back of Casper. These hards definitely warming up to their task nicely. He's on the back, of course. No DRS enabled. Is he going to go around the outside of turn 3? Navy turns into him around the outside of turn 3. Casper gives him a shove off the track there, saying, "What are you doing, mate? What are you doing there?" And I think, respect there, Casper is back through the third, Navy in fourth. I think he realised when he watches back on the replay that he just turned into the side of him there. But Siege out on top, 8/10 of a second, accelerating away under the safety car restart. Like 15 out of 29, we are more than halfway through this race here in Albert Park. Jeffrey is in second, Casper in third. It's all just spread out a little bit after Navy's collision with Casper, but Siege Running through nicely, just getting caught slightly on the grass. Here comes Casper though. Casper gets a brilliant run out the chicane. He's going to try and go around the outside of Jeffrey here. The fin around the outside of the Dutchman. Not quite, he is around the outside of the Dutchman this time, and the fin's around the outside. Casper gets it up to second place. Great move around the outside of turn 14 there. Oh, and Jeffrey, very late on the brakes. It's going to cause a massive contact, and Jeffrey's at the fault there, I think. Argue as much as you want about that, but Jeffrey is waiting up for Casper, lets him back through, and that I think is signalling the end of Jeffrey's race. He's into the pit, he dives it in. Too right as well, Maximus caught up in that as well, Casper caught up in that, Alan Kay caught up in that slightly as well. So unfortunate contact having to be made there, but nothing can be done about that. Jeffrey just braking himself a little bit too late on the brakes and just tapping the back end of Casper, who is still kind of in touch here with Mays, but I think he's got front wing damage, so don't be surprised if he does come into the pits anytime soon. Unfortunate contact there, but Siege leads 2.3 seconds. He's getting away from Navy nicely. Navy, of course, is on the same strategy as him pretty much, both on the hard compound of tyres, the C2 compound of tyres. Right on the back though, Mays is on the back of Plaster here, giving him something to think about. The soft compound of tyres coming into play, the C4 compound of tyres. Yeah. Now, oh! George goes for a spin. George going for a spin there. Going into the wall. Gonna try and get that car turned, and he does. Casper trying to look on Plaster there for 4th and 5th. Mays is right on the back as well. Oh, into the back end, and there's more contact. Ay, ay, ay. More contact occurring. Mays, I think, just outbraking himself slightly, having a knock-on effect into Casper, and then the Casper effect has gone into the back of Plaster. Again, another bit of unfortunate contact there. Might be put down to racing incident, not sure. I can't really judge for that myself, because I'm not a steward. Alan Kay right on the back, Plaster. Trying to go around the outside of turn 4. Turn 3, oh, nearly into the back of Mays. Alan Kay does well to sit tight, he is back through, and he gets into place there, so Plaster up to 5th. Plaster up to 6th, sorry, he's on the back of Mays for 5th, who has got front wing damage, and he's gone past him. Plaster's up to 5th. 2 positions getting Mays is hanging on for grim life though. Plaster's through though, he's up to 5th. Plaster through, and the gap for the leaders came down 1.9 seconds between Siege and Navy at this stage. Lap 17 out of 29. Siege leading, Navy in 2nd, Crazy Legs in 3rd, Casper in 4th at this stage. 2.2 seconds the gap for the lead. Looking all quiet out in front for Siege at this stage. He's doing enough to maintain that advantage. Navy 2 seconds off in 2nd, has just lost 0.3 of a second around the final corner he comes. Siege comes across the line to start lap 18 out of 29. We are 12 laps to go. And Siege out in front from Navy in 2nd, Crazy Legs in 3rd, Casper 4th, Plaster in 5th, Mays and Alan Kay getting in for a bit of a squabble. In fact, Mays is into the pits, must be repairing some front wing damage, and it looks in fact that his left side end plate is missing there. So, Siege out in front, Plaster picks up a 3-second time penalty, that's through turns 1 and 2. But Siege leads 1.7 seconds. Again, that gap coming down. Navy seems to be much more attacking in the first sector. Saves up his ERS a little bit through the middle. That gap now down to 1.6 briefly there. Casper picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And Navy just getting slightly sideways. But again, he begins to attack with the ERS in ERS mode 3, which of course is the high ERS mode. I personally think there should be 3 ERS modes altogether, never mind 5. And Navy just losing time there to Siege. Siege saving up a lot more ERS, about double more, yeah, exactly double more compared to Navy at this stage. Navy on about 30%, Siege nearly on 60% ERS. So nearly double ERS difference between Siege and Navy at this stage as we start lap 19 out of 29. Siege leads them on the way, 1.8 seconds, Navy in 2nd. Of course, it's battle out on track this at this stage, if you could call it a battle. But Siege looking good. Maybe just getting slightly sideways in the background. There's a little bit of time onto the grass there. We'll save up through the first sector, the ERS. And nothing really happening on him behind. Crazy Legs is now in third. Never thought he would be in third, to be honest, with the amount of contact that's been occurring in the middle of this race. The yellow flag in sector 3 and George just spun up the chicane. George spins it at the chicane. And that is at turns 10 and 11. That is on relatively fresh, soft compound of tyres. But George clearly struggling for traction, it seems. Get back up to speed now, but he has dropped a considerable amount of time on Maze, which is unfortunate for George. Seems to be one of those drivers that just maintain a little bit of inconsistency. We don't want to see that, of course. We want to see consistency, not inconsistency. And I'm sure every driver wants to thrive for that as well, regardless of the tiers. Siege out in front. It's 2 seconds the advantage at this stage. Again, gap just coming out nicely. Siege on the hard compound of tyres. May come in and opt to go onto the soft compound of tyres near the end. Navy could make it last to the end. If Siege pits, he's going to be down probably around Casper Plaster sort of way at a stage. Another yellow flag in sector 3. That is Alan Kay off, and that is at turn 13. As the left-hander at turn 13 clearly has gone for an excursion off. Maybe the brakes not working there on his car. And the VSE's been deployed. Another VSE, so we've had 2 VSEs in a safety car for the season opener. Nothing really glum here tonight in TTL F2, I've got to say. But Siege out in front. This race just been forced to a stabilisation period on lap 20 out of 29, and the VSC ends, and Siege has actually gained time on Navy there. Great judgment from Siege on the safety car on the VSC restart, and Siege has gained 0.3 of a second nearly there on Navy. We've just come through camera shot now. That's a beautiful camera shot through that chicane, really nice. If somebody catches the back end loose there, then they're a goner. But Siege out in front. Nevy in second, Crazy Legs third, Casper fourth, Plaster fifth. Got the current top 5 then. It's Alan Kay, Maximus, who will be closing in. Jeffrey Mays and George at this stage down in 10th place. Still trooping along though. Maximus getting close to Alan Kay though. Within a second, he's going to be within DRS range coming down the back straight. Through turns 10 and 11 they go. And Maximus should be lining up an opportunity here on Alan Kay. And this should be very easy for Maximus. He's going round the outside on the straight. It should be very easy. Alan Kay should just slot him behind, and he's got the move done. Maximus up to 6th on a fresh set of the medium tyres. Can now pull away from Alan Kay, and he is up to 5th. He's up to 6th, sorry, ahead of Alan Kay. So nice move there by Maximus. Clearly quicker, much quicker car, and Alan Kay, and already that second gap pulled out. Really good stuff for Maximus, and he's pulling away. Ooh, just getting a little bit onto the grass slightly there. There's a little bit of speed down the straight. Alan Kay just maintaining within ERS range. He is saving up a lot of his ERS compared to Maximus. 16% compared to 65%, so 50% difference there between the level of usages from both drivers. ABS again kicking in for Alan Kay. Another lock-up. He's trying to get closer to Jeffrey in the meantime. 2.1 seconds. That gap has came down from 2.6. So Mays closing in 0.5 of a second here on the soft compound of tyre. And in fact, he's closing in more now on Jeffrey. 1.7, 1.8. So that gap extends towards Jeffrey once again. Mays saving up EOS, not going for total commitment on the softs. But he should begin to close them in anytime soon, I would imagine. Of course, if these two stop battling, could bring Alan Kay back into this as well. If Alan Kay is slower than these two, which I think he would be at this stage. 10 seconds between him and Jeffrey at this stage for 7th and 8th. Mays 1.8 seconds, 1.7. Should really try and commit the ERS, to be honest. If he wants to try and get Jeffrey, I think he should try and commit the ERS here. And game. We're on lap 22 out of 29 though. Siege is just through the end of sector 1. 2.2 seconds ahead of Navy. Hard compound of tyre. Both of them, as I've already alluded to, off in commentary. Could try and see it to the end, I think, Siege. In fact, I think they both will try and see it to the end here. Navy on fresher, 3-lap fresher tyres, so watch out for him at the end of this race. Good time to pick up on the race director here, in fact. Let me run you through the penalties. Siege has not got a warning. Navy has got 3 penalties, including one picked up on this lap. Crazy Legs has got 2 warnings. Casper has got 2 penalties. Plaster has got 4 penalties. Maximus has got a penalty. Alan K has got a penalty. Jeffrey has got 2 warnings. Mays has got 5-second time penalty. That was for collision on lap 1, which I think he's already served. So George has got a 5-second time penalty as well. And I don't think that has been served, so that might get added on at the end. As we see, Navy, another 3-second time penalty there. On the bottom of my screen, I've already alluded to that in the rundown of the penalties. Lap 23 out of 29, 7 laps to go. And it's looking good for Siege out in front. Only 200ths off his personal best. That through the first sector. So looking good. We're coming back on board though with Mays, who decides to up the tempo now. He's up in it. He's up in it. Jeffrey looks vulnerable. First time in a while he looks vulnerable. No DRS opened. He wasn't within DRS range coming through the detection zone, I don't think. And that was between turns 13 and 14, of course. Mays just losing time. Yeah, he's not going to close up. He thought he had DRS, but he wasn't within a second. I think he was about 1.2 seconds off at that stage. So Mays not doing enough to close in on Jeffrey. He'll try and close in. I think he should try and use it on the back straight, the ERS. Try and close it down. But Mays closing in. You can really see the glow of the brakes being lit up, especially around here in Australia. The red brakes almost looking like the TTG now got into the brakes as well as on the car there. So not looking too bad. Mays must have heard me. He's beginning to attack again, but again, just not off the DRS, not within the DRS detection. He should be close enough, I think, this time around, coming down into turn 13. The DRS detection zone comes up now, and he is just within a second. So Mays will have DRS this time around. Not sure how much it'll close him up, but he's got DRS this time around anyways. Around the final corner, there is the DRS, about to be opened up by Mays. Opens up the taps now down the straight, gains him extra power. Mays running down the straight, 7/10 off. He's not close enough, I don't think, for a move here on Jeffrey. Unless Jeffrey decides to make a mistake ahead of him. Yeah, it's not closing in. But both of these are catching Alan Kay, who has been struggling quite a while now. It's lap 24 out of 29 if you're just tuning in. Siege leads from Navy, 2.8 seconds the gap. Crazy Legs in third, holding on to Casper nicely. Casper is getting closer now though. But back on board then with Jeffrey and Mays, because this is starting to develop up possibly into a 3-way battle for 7th. Alan Kay clearly struggling with those tyres. Might have to come in and put on a fresh set of rubber. We're now on lap 25 out of 29. Siege just came across the line to start that lap. Mays in the meantime is only 6/10 off Jeffrey, and he is getting closer. He's using up more of his ERS, which is good to see. He needs to try and commit to both of them, I think. You can see Alan Kay getting closer. You can see Jeffrey getting closer. Again, DRS opened. Jeffrey not close enough to Alan Kay, so Mays just closing up slightly under the braking, but not quite. 8th and 9th at this stage. Mays will be hoping to try and get a double move, I think he had done on Alan Kay, who just seems he could hold up Jeffrey. Hopefully we don't see a bit of a hold up like we did a Constantino effect earlier on in the race around halfway point when the safety car was brought out on. That did involve Mays, I think, outbraking himself and causing I think it was Plaster to spin the car. So obviously stewards will have a look into that one. Casper's getting close to Crazy Legs in the meantime, a second off in 3rd and 4th, but it is Siege out in front. Navy in 2nd, Alan Kay is off into the gravel. He's off into the gravel, and that is pretty much game over for Alan Kay. He's down in 9th. Georgia just came into the pit to come and set the fastest lap. Lap 26 out of 29. Siege leads. Casper picked up another 3-second time penalty. That was through turn 13 on the exit of turn 14, in fact that was. So, out on the exit of turn 13, I should say. Casper has got DRS though, he's beginning to close them in. Mays is very close to Jeffrey, in fact. Tries to nick it up the inside, not quite. Very close though. Shooting this time around. I think Mays has got a DRS failure. Mays has got a DRS failure down the inside, tries to commit the move, not quite. Dutchman defending off the Brit at this stage. The 7th and 8th out on track. Mays, of course, will be hoping for a double move. Might be the worst possible point to get a DRS failure here. Let's see if it opens this time around. Yes, it does. The DRS is fine for Mays, just didn't opt to use it on the straight. 26 out of 29, as I say. Siege 3.3 seconds clear. He is gaining on Navy. He's pulled away about a second over the last 3 laps, I would say. The Siege looking comfortable for the win. Navy in second. Watch out for the penalties though come the end of the race, as Hayes still tries to close in on Jeffrey here for 7th and 8th. Caught him back on board with Casper because he looks like he's starting to gain again on Crazy Legs. They're on the same compound of tyre, the mediums. 3rd and 4th at this stage. They've got plenty full of a gap to plaster, and there we go. We see Crazy Legs dropping down. Has he got puncture? Or has he just purely let him through? I think Crazy Legs has just let him through there. So Casper up to 3rd. Easy stuff. Crazy Legs down in 4th, and I think they're going to be staying there for the rest of the race. So just spread out again a little bit. Jeffrey and Mays. Mays now, medium starting, the hard, sorry, are going to be opting this, they're going to be operating at a much cooler temperature compared to Mays' softs at this stage. Mays' softs, I will think they can make it to the end, but they're going to be so warm come the end. I think it's more of a duty to save the tyres than anything else. Save the tyres and try and push is, I think, the order there. Jeffrey again pulls away. You can see a clear difference now in the temperature of the tyres, because May is struggling for traction off the corners, and Jeffrey on a relatively warm set of the mediums, of the hard, sorry. Again, these colour changes are getting me. I think this is the beginning last week, but yeah, Jeffrey seems to be better through the corners. Mays just seems to be, I wouldn't say over-attacking it, I'd just say over-exhausting the tyres, possibly. Siege better start lap 28. In the meantime, 3 seconds the advantage. It's clear sailing for him. Looking good. Navy in second, Casper third, Crazy Legs in 4th at this stage. Cut back on both Mays in the meantime. Again, a lot of Daggy, and Jeffrey makes a first resemblance of a mistake there. Just over-raced the curb slightly. Mays closes in by about a 10th and a half. Nearly 2 tenths now. Jeffrey makes another mistake. In fact, it is going to open up the opportunity for Mays here, because he is getting very, very close to Jeffrey. Is he going to commit the move down the inside of turn 13? Jeffrey just turns into him slightly. Mays hanging on. Could have easily been a spin there, to be honest, but Jeffrey hangs on. 7th and 8th. We should be getting the last lap started very soon. Australia has flown over TTL F2 season opener. Jeffrey and Mays come across the line to start lap 28 themselves. We're going to see very soon Siege. He is just approaching the end of the straight to turn 13. But Jeffrey out in front, 4/10 of a second. Mays in second, and it's looking good at the minute for Jeffrey to try and close in. I might have just said they are first and second. They're in 7th and 8th, I should say, but they're about half a second off each other at this stage. That's what I was trying to say. Yellow flag in sector 3. It is George, and he's spun it and he's lost his front wing. He's lost his front wing, and that was at the chicane at turns 11 and at turns 10 and 11. On to the final lap. May's not getting any closer to Jeffrey. Siege then out in front, coming through the end of the first sector for the final time out on track. And everyone has continued since the safety car restart. We've only lost Ollie, S. Graham and Fate in this race. We're getting two battles going very late on the day. Plaster under pressure from Maximus. Down the straight they come. Maximus, I think, could get the move done here, you know. Maximus is down the inside. Got to commit it down the inside. Plaster won't give up lightly, but Maximus has got it. He's up to 5th. Good move there by Maximus. Clearly has saved up enough ERS to get that move done. We'll pull away with the DRS further, and Maximus should be up to 5th come the end of this race. Siege, in the meantime, through the end of the final sector, through the end of the middle sector for the final time. Siege will be taking 25 points here in TTL F2, and it's been a dominant drive from start to finish. He has led pretty much since the gun, and Siege, coming around the final corner now, he is going to be the first winner of, as Casper has just been overtaken by Crazy Legs. In fact, Siege comes across the line to win here in TTL F2. Navy in second. Watch out for the penalties. Navy gets a 5-second time penalty for an unserved penalty. Crazy Legs and Casper goes to the flag together pretty much here. These should be out fighting now for 3rd and 4th in terms of penalties as well. But Crazy Legs will get on top from Casper. Casper must have made a mistake at the chicane. Great performance from Crazy Legs. He's up into 3rd. Casper crashes coming across the line. Bit of alliteration failure there, to be honest. Maximus is coming around the final corner, getting the measure of Plaster on the start of the final lap. He's coming through nicely now into 5th place. Looking good, Maximus. Comes across the line. 5-second time penalty for an unserved stop goal. Plaster has got more penalties than him though. Jeffrey's about to come across the line. He's fought off the attentions of Mays. Mays' tyres giving up in the end. Jeffrey's about to come across the line in 7th. We're going to be getting Mays home in 8th. We have had a yellow flag somewhere. We're going to be getting George coming home in 10th. A very sedate drive, I would say, from George. A few mistakes on the way around, but George has came across the line to finish in 10th, so he picks up that final point. And Alan Kay, another disappointing performance from his standards, I think. Alan Kay across the line in 9th place. And that is the finish of Australian Grand Prix TTL F2 season opener here at the Albert Park circuit. We see Siege's driver come to the top step of the podium. Great drive from him. Picks up the trophy nicely. It's absolutely fantastic stuff from Siege. And celebrates as if he's won the championship. But that is 1 out of 1 for Siege. Of course, we'll see what season unfolds, what season has to offer for the remaining races of this season. But as we come to the end of this session here with the music playing in the background, Siege has won. Thank God that is... let's just thank God that is ended there. And yeah, I'm not sure what has went on there. I can't really give you the rundown of the rest of the order. In fact, I can. Let me get the stream up. Clearly something going on with online services tonight. Never great stuff. Probably my connection more than anything else. But let me just give you the rundown of the order, of the rest of the order. Siege out on top. Navy second, Crazy Legs in 3rd. We covered the top 3. Casper finishing in 4th. P2 was mine, he says in the comment section. Very unlucky performance from him, I think, from his standards. Maximus in 5th, Plaster in 6th, Jeffrey in 7th, Mays in 8th, Alan Kay in 9th, and George a lap down in 10th. But he did finish, so he gets that final point. Ollie, S. Graham and Fate all crashing out of the race or retiring respectively. And that is the end of this live stream. Split down into 2 parts, I know, but still, we've made a success of it. So TTL F2 Season 4 Round 1 has ended off in style. I have been JamesHead14. I'll be back, of course, on Thursday for TTL F1 commentary as well, so come and join me for that, and I'm sure everyone will see some great action like we have seen out on track here tonight. Possibly some investigations to occur after the incident, but that's the nature of league racing, isn't it, at the end of the day? But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, which will be TTL F1 on Thursday, if you are going to be driving in that, and TTL F2 next week, of course. We'll be back for Bahrain. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.